And then I had to mad dash to get this set up, and we're like, do we use the proper setup or do we use the lazy boy setup? We voted for the lazy boy setup, so expect janktasticness.
Yeah. So I was checking audio. That doesn't sound too bad.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
If it isn't, then...
So, yeah. So, usually listeners will have no idea why we were late.
Yep.
So
By
tough.
10 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. All very well. Right then. So, no Middlemiser this week. He was scared of the dark.
Yep. As you know, that's a common thing.
Oh. Very common, very common. So, should we go straight on to games we've been playing?
Yes.
Would you like to start, or would you like me to start this week?
It's up to you, mate.
All right, well, let's go start. Well, I've been playing Shoppe Keep.
The fuck is that?
Shoppe Keep is a game where you run a shop.
Really?
So, you know, in all the fantasy games, like,
Yeah.
you know, Skyrim and Witcher and that stuff, there's a shop you go to where you buy your armour and your potions and so forth.
Yep.
Imagine you're the shopkeeper and all the adventurers are coming to you to buy everything.
Okay, yeah.
So you basically run the shop for all the adventurers.
Okay.
So you start off with, and you only have like, so when you first start, you only have like entry-level warrior gear available to buy.
Yep.
So you have to buy your inventory, you have to buy like your display cabinets and so forth, and put the inventory on the display cabinets. It has to get on display unit. You can't just jump it on the floor. You set your profit margin. So each item you get, you can set how much you want to sell it for. And then people come and they purchase it. And then obviously you get the money, and then as you get more money, you can then afford like more display units, and you can then also buy more gear and stock more stuff and bigger range of stuff. You also get what they call K points. I have no idea what K points mean, but basically it's like skill points that you get, and then you can use those to unlock. So basic level stuff you unlock, allowing basic wizard stuff. So like your real basic gear from memory is like you can sell a health potion, I think some leather gloves, like basic armor, and like a basic basic sword from memory. Then the wizard stuff unlocks certain like potions. Then you can unlock rogue stuff and druid stuff.
What does this game look like? Does it? I mean, are we talking first person, third person, over the
First
top?
person. So it's first person. It's all done in first person. I mean, graphically wise, it's very simplistic. It looks all right actually. It's very simplistic graphics. I would say sort of like PS2 ever sort of quality.
Well, not bad.
But it's deliberately simplified, so it looks all right. You know, when you had like sort of PS2 games that tried to be ultra realistic and just everything came off looking really muddy.
Yeah.
So they've really gone like, let's just do it really basic. So all the character models are quite basic. There aren't that many character models out there, and so forth. You can basically see. So it looks all right actually. It's sort of like always sort of quite chirpy, cheerful town you're in. And the guys come and they buy stuff, and it's great because when they buy it, actually appears on them. So they buy some armor, they then start wearing it. So you just like see sort of people, and also
they come in wearing their rags, and then they come out.
And when they come back like the next day, they'll be wearing the armor they bought like previously and so forth.
Right. Or they come back in a box wearing the armor
Yeah.
they bought previously.
Well, as you unlock K points, as you unlock those, you can then like get like higher tier gear. So I've now unlocked level 2 tier, which is the third level, because you have like sort of the start level, like level 0, then level 1, level 2. So I've unlocked all 3 levels for all the different classes, warriors, mages, rogues, and so forth, and druids. And my shop is expanded. So your shop's quite small at first. And as you get more money, you can like expand it. You can like take down walls.
Yeah.
And so the first couple walls only cost you 10,000 gold to take down. And the next set of walls cost you 100,000 gold to take down. And the final set of walls cost you 250,000 gold to take down.
Righto.
Which there is a point where you are just grinding it day in, day out. So it's sort of like split into like sort of 2 areas. So you have like a building phase where you can like put your merchandise out. You can like sort of set the shop up, sort of do like your daily stuff. You know, perhaps you can clean, do some repairs. So stuff gets worn, so you have to go around and repair it with your hammer, and you can sort of brush the floor and so forth. And then you have what's called the day phase, and the day phase is split into 3 parts: morning, day, sort of daytime, and nighttime. Or evening. Each lasts 5 minutes. So basically, it's 15 minutes when the game is running, as it were. It's live, and people coming into your shop and buying stuff. And it's so realistic for working in a retail establishment. Customers come in, they pick something up, and they just drop it on the floor, and you have to go pick it up after them and redress it in.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they don't quite go as bad as actually putting stuff in the wrong places, but they do pick it up.
They're nicer than
They're nicer than most customers, yeah. You've got shoplifters. Yeah, but you can always tell them because they run. So they
always run.
Yeah. Well, if you see them running out your shop, you can run after them. You can zap them. For a while, I thought perhaps some of them were clever enough to walk out, and there's a person I thought had stolen something. And because you do get weapons, you get a sword and you get like a lightning spell.
Right.
So when I saw them walking out, I thought, I think you've stolen something. So I zapped them a lightning spell, and then I got fined for killing an innocent person.
How dare you?
But you can do an upgrade later on. It basically makes all innocent customers immune to your lightning spell.
All right.
Don't ask me how that works, but you do. And you can also unlock a thief zapper, which sits at your doorway, and if a thief walks through the doorway, it zaps them and kills them.
Well, that's just... Yeah, I just come in to get my morning breakfast. You're right, Nick, how you...
Yeah. Thought I never knew. I always suspected he was a thief.
Fucking criminal.
Yeah. So you got that.
Wasn't planning on robbing his establishment.
Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously you also have to pay to unlock more display. So your basic display camps, you get like a little table, and you get like a little like plinth which holds small things.
Mm-hmm.
As you unlock more stuff, you can have like a bench that can hold. Now there's a couple of bits I don't like. So there's like this big bench table thing that holds 2 medium items and 9 small items, but that's all it can take. You can't like say have it with no medium items and all small items. So if you put small items on one, unless you fill the medium items slot up with something, it's just empty.
Okay.
That's a little bit annoying. I would like it so there's a bit more flexibility, so you could say, okay, this only holds medium items, or some equivalent which will hold, because certain small items can only be put on a table, they can't be put on a shelf.
Okay.
So like gloves can go on a shelf, but shoulder pads have to go on a table, which is a little bit annoying when you can only put 9 things. So there's bits where I've just got blank spaces around my shop, which as a retailer irritates me.
That's annoying.
That is very annoying. It just like sits there and irritates me. So you get fees. Later on, you can, if you get enough K points, you can start growing plants, because some like druids like weeds. Like they like weed.
It's called I'm pretty sure a lot of that.
And beetroots and mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
There you grow. So big sort of psychedelic mushrooms you can grow in your back garden and sell to them. They'll buy them.
As you do.
And you also unlock. You can also buy a tavern, which I've unlocked, and the tavern. I thought you'd be like case like you sort of set it up like, but you do a shop. But no, basically it's like another building in the sort of town that you go into, and there's a tavern keeper there, and there's basically when it starts, only got 1 table in it, and then you could buy additional tables, and then more people can go in and sit around it.
Is it like a big empty space? And
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can have only up to 4 tables.
Okay.
So it's not huge, and then you go back sort of like every sort of phase, or like every other phase as well, and you can collect your revenue. Okay. And I've upgraded him fully now, so he's putting in best part 10k a day.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So one of the upgrades, for example, is you basically improve staff manners, so they don't like tell customers off, so customers spend more money.
Otherwise they're all like, "Fuck you, get out of my
The
pub."
description is improve staff manners, so the barkeeper stops flipping off customers.
You just bought a pussy drink.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you want archers? Archers?
Get out.
Get out. Yeah, it's only we only have asphalts and like white lightning here.
You can have a pint of disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, get out.
Yes, something like that.
What do you mean disgusting? You know, warm with bits in the traditional pint.
Yeah. So you have him. You also later on you can unlock a little robot. And he has various, it's sort of more, it's more steampunky than fantasy.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
I was going to say,
so it's a steam-powered robot. So it's all like more got a bit of steampunky elements to it. And and you can set him off. He's quite clever actually. You'll set him off like, for example, you can say, okay, I want you to be item pickup. So he'll go around, he'll pick up all the items.
Okay.
Because the other thing is when you go to, so you have to place orders. You get this like ledger which you place your orders on. They get delivered to you. And so when you place orders, it tells you how many you've got. So if you know how many things you have on display, you can sort of like just go and sort of top everything up.
Okay.
Trouble is, if someone picks something up and drops it on the ground, it doesn't. It's like because also it doesn't know if you've picked it up again. It doesn't know it's not. It's like it's unowned, so it doesn't show up in that count.
Okay.
Which means you then have to go before you can order anything. If you don't want to have excess stock, which I find niggly, you have to go around and pick all this stuff up first. But because your robot can be into an item pickup state, he'll go around and pick all up for you, or like the display stock.
Useful way to solve an annoying problem.
And what you can then do is there's a function which I found quite late on called imprinting. So if you go to a shelf and you've got like leather gloves in your hand, and basically when you go to shelf,
you can tell it to always put leather gloves back on that spot.
And because it basically shows that there's all like sort of highlighted circles, and you imprint them on that circle. So when you go to your robot, you can say, put him in imprint mode and tell him to restock, and he'll just go around filling your shelves up for you.
Oh, neat.
So I'm basically at the stage now where rather than having to, at the end of the day, go around, tie the shop up and fill it up myself, I actually order the stock, give it to the robot, off he goes trundling around filling the stock shelves up for me, and I can just sort of like wander around brushing the floor and sort of growing my mushrooms.
Take a few mushrooms.
Yeah, and go. And it's at the stage now, because I've got my V-Sapper going quite well, and I've got another robot which is also zapping thieves. So basically, I'll be honest, what I do now is start the day going and go away for 15 minutes and come back and just see how much money I've earned.
Great game.
Yeah, you can also upgrade you can also get more money by upgrading your like shop fittings. That's quite expensive. They're like 115k each to upgrade each shop fitting, not each type of shop fitting, not each shop fitting. So I'm at the stage now of unlock that. You can also unlock a champion to send. You can send off on missions. I've not unlocked him yet.
Sure.
There's also barbarians. Now the game's quite good because barbarians will basically come. They'll raid your shop and they'll just destroy everything. However, they've put a bit of a thing in it, so you have like a shop approval rating. And normally it won't go above 70%. However, if you unlock it so that you're more popular, you'll get more customers in, you'll go above 70%, but then the barbarians are triggered by going above 70% approval. So you'll then start getting attacked by barbarians. So it basically says, if you unlock this, you'll start attracting barbarians, which is neat, because it means if you don't want to have to fight them, if you don't want to, you can just say, I won't bother doing that. And my OCD won't let me do that.
Sure. Because it's annoying to have to then rebuild your shop.
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
So I'm just saying because I like my shop. I don't really like customers coming in, to be honest, because they buy things and leave holes in the shelf. They don't buy things neatly.
Nope, I agree.
No, they don't take the belt at the front of the table. They have to take the belt in the middle of the table.
Mm-hmm. This job would be great if it weren't for the customers.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I've put about 20 hours into this game so far.
All right.
It's very much a game to play if you've got like when you like a game to chill with.
Yeah,
you're not after something too taxing. You want to put it on. Perhaps you've got you're watching a documentary on your other screen, and you just want something just to amuse yourself.
You just want something to tap buttons. And,
it's a bit like a mobile game in some ways. It's just sort of like you pick up music, and I just sort of like I just in there for open the day, see the trade goes, and there's seasons as well. So every 10 days the season changes. And that will affect what people buy. So in the winter time, people buy frost-resisting potions when something they'll buy fire-resisting potions. So you can change your stocking in those sales. I don't do that because again, my OCD says I have to have a bit of everything.
Right.
So I've got 12 frost-resist potions on my shelf, 24 of them. Sorry, they'll never sell this time of year, but they're going to stay there just in case somebody wants one.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Because you never know.
Yeah, and. I mean, what would be nice is if, because before the customers coming in, I think you're meant to be like sort of look at them and see how they get better and so forth. I think there's some mechanical way that they sort of like get as they get better gear, they go off and they get more money and come back and buy your shop. I feel there's something there, but I've not actually looked at them enough to see. I've not like sort of made notes of names or anything coming in.
Sure,
it'd be nice if there's like some sort of like customer tracker screen to see like who your regular customers are and see what they're doing and how you're equipping them.
What you need to do is get them to sign up for the
loyalty scheme.
Yeah, that's it. And then that way, every time they come in and they pass you the card.
Yeah, I sign up for. We'd like to sign up for one of our dragon cards, sir. And off they go, and I think. But it's a neat little game. They've now built. They're now in early access. Shoppe Keep 2.
Okay.
Which I've not had a proper look at yet. But I don't. So they might have fixed some of the problems. I've not had a chance to have a look at that yet. But yeah, Shoppe Keep 1. If it comes on Steam sale and you want sort of a little bit of a chill game, I would recommend it.
Sounds a little bit like an item shop tale that Inky plays, which is a top-down sprite-based JRPG style game.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same kind of groove, with the story of a little girl who has to pay off her father's debts by running the shop.
All right.
And you basically just do the same thing. You've got a shop at the start of the day. You choose to stock it up, and where you put items dictates what kind of customers you get. So if you put all your rings and your valuable stuff by the window, more people are likely to come in because they'll see them. Or if you put all your crap there, then no one's going to come in.
Yeah.
And then you have like a dungeon phase, so you can actually go out into a dungeon with an adventurer to restock and get newer, rare items and stuff. It's kind of neat.
Sounds kind of neat. It does sound similar. Actually, it's what this game made me think of in terms of art style and sort of music, Kingdom and Castles.
Oh yeah, I like Kingdom and Castles.
It's got sort of really sort of the music's all that sort of really sort of upbeaty, medieval style, sort of cheerful. Yeah, we're all running a shop. Isn't it great fun? Yeah, we're medieval style. Listen to sort of like this really cheerful, sort of hurdy-gurdy music type thing. It's got all that, which like Kingdoms and Castles has got.
Yeah.
So you can almost feel this was a shop in Kingdoms and Castles. It looks that similar.
Kind of neat.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be a nice sort of crossover actually. It's got some references to. They have put a bit of references. You can tell this game was being produced not long after Skyrim was out because the plate helmet looks suspiciously like a certain Skyrim helmet.
Sure.
And I think the plate armor says guaranteed to prevent arrows not getting to your knee. Type sort of thing. Yeah. It's got lots of those little sort of jokes that you go,
It references many meme.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite good.
Many a meme.
Of course, which means it's instantly dated.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Shoppe Keep, recommend it.
Cool. Nice one.
Right, Skazz.
I've played a couple games. So, first off, what was I doing that was so exciting that I had to literally be ripped away from my stream? I was playing East Book 2 again. Have I mentioned East Book 2 yet?
You've mentioned so many East games, I've lost track, to be honest.
Well, there are a few, aren't there? I played East 8.
You played East 1 about 6 times.
What joys. Well, we've gone through East Book 2 nearly twice now. But I made it. So the story of East is, I'll quickly go over it again. You play as Adol Christin, an adventurer. You've been pulled over to this island. Like you're being drawn to this island for some random reason, and it turns out that you are like the hero of destiny. You have been summoned to basically just save the world, save this little kingdom, put right all the wrongs and all that fluff. And at the end of East Book 1, you beat the end boss, Dark Fact, and get teleported to the world of Ys, the lost kingdom of Ys. Book 2 means that you then have to basically rinse, repeat, but solve all of the issues for the people in the kingdom of Ys.
So is it basically every game is the same storyline?
Well, Adol's a hero, he's an adventurer, he's going to solve everyone's problems, but that's pretty much every RPG ever.
No, what I mean is that it seems, every time you've described in these games, it seems to be he gets shipwrecked on an island, and then or goes to an island and has to solve all the problems.
Yeah, which is usually the case with most RPGs.
Yeah,
hero turns up outside of village.
I just don't know if it was like the same island, the same.
No.
Each one was like a retelling.
Each place, so each East game, he goes to a different kingdom. So I can't remember what the hell this one's called. Asteria is the first one, then Felghana, the Salsetta region. East 8 takes place after East 4 or East 3, and I can't remember the region for that one. But it's basically the same kind of groove, but in a different kingdom with different people. Because Adol is supposed to be an adventurer of legend, so most of these games take place as if people were reading through Adol's personal kind of like, his.
Oh right.
He's like,
so it's like almost narrated, sort of as if this is after the fact.
Yeah, like Adol is long dead at this point. They don't make that clear in the East games, but in later East games, you see that they are actually reading like Adol's diaries. He's gone home to his home village, and he's written down all his life stories.
It shows his mother sneaking into his bedroom.
Well, you never know.
Or older sister.
But he's written down all of his adventures, because when you buy the collector's editions of a lot of the remasters, they actually come with Adol's adventure diary, as it were. So each game has, you are living the story that is written in the book. Anyway, I've been playing through East Book 2 because it follows on directly from East Book 1. In America, East Book 1 and 2 came on one disc. So it was just one game. Initially, when it came out, there was only East Book 1, and that was because it was like the Master System version. But there was no East Book 2. on Master System or anything like that. The only way to play East Book 2 was the TurboGrafx CD version. And so obviously you beat East 1, get teleported to East, do the shit to save the kingdom, village, people, and all that, right? Solve their problems. So we'd gotten part of the way through.
Random person who just comes on and fix all our problems for us because we're too lazy.
That's basically it. That's how it works. We've got all the tools for you to save the day. We could have done it, but...
Yeah, also problems. Can I have a sword? Yeah, that'll be 10 gold.
And you're like, what? Hang on, but do you want me to help you or not? No.
Yeah, we'll help you. I'll pay you to do it. Oh, that's okay. Then I'll buy you a sword 10 gold. Fix the problem. You'll go kill 2,000 rats. Here's your 5 gold reward.
Motherfucker. But that's basically the groove. So I'd been playing through East Book 1 and 2 before, and we stopped. I just stopped playing. Like, I went to go play something else. I think I got stuck. I can't remember what it was I had to do, and I got stuck. And it turns out I just got lost, and the room that I needed to go to was like 3 feet to my left.
Okay.
I'd missed a trigger event. Today, I found out that I screwed myself over in yesterday's stream of it as well, because I'd forgot to buy items and armor to be able to progress in the story to beat a boss. When I beat the boss, I found out that I screwed myself again by completely forgetting who I'd given a key item to, so I was looking for the wrong character to pick up the key item from.
It's one of those type of games.
Yeah, well, there's trigger events, because you got to think this is a game that came out in the 1980s.
Yeah.
You know, so... no, the English version came out in like 1992, I think, or something to that effect. Anyway, it's really old, so it follows very, very basic old school RPG kind of the rule book of classic RPGs. Talk to every character at least twice, check every item at least twice, you know, stuff like that. Although East 2 does rely heavily on fucking mazes, and if anyone wanted to find a trigger for me in video games, it's mazes. I've got a bad brain, which means I've got a really shitty memory.
Piece of paper and a pen.
No, I'd be sat there all day doing that. Because even then I think, oh, have I taken that corner? Oops, no, I went that way instead, and then I'm completely lost. Yeah. But either way, I got right to the end boss before we had to start the live stream. I was like, no. I was actually sat, like, I heard you guys coming in. I was like, no, we're right at the end. Like, we just got to the door that leads to the end boss.
Oh, dear, Skazz. So, it's all about time management.
I know. I didn't think we were going to make it, to be fair. If it wasn't for Annie, who is currently in our Twitch chat, I wouldn't have even realised that I was going around in circles. Because Annie was like, well... Have you gone back to the village to check for the thing? And I was like, why would I go to the village? This random character's got it. It's like, no, man, I'm pretty sure it's this other character. I was like, really? Did I give it? And I was like, oh shit, yeah. Went back to the village. Oh, the kid's fucking got it the entire time. I was like, you fucking little bastard! I should wring your neck. Anyway,
so basically what you're saying is Annie's like having game FAQs sat next to you?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, because Annie's played the classic East games as well. So the trouble is, I forget little things like that. I was sure that I'd given the key item to this other character who had just recently gone missing, but nope, it was just sat there right under my nose the entire time. I spent like fucking 3/4 of an hour running around looking for this character, and he wasn't even on the map because the trigger event was elsewhere. So anyway, got to the end of that. I'm so badly enjoying that game. I love that game so much. Just East 2 is full of fucking mazes, and I hate mazes. The music is gorgeous, graphically it's great. I'm currently playing the remake of East Book 2, and then I plan to go through Oath of Felghana, which is East 3, the remake of East 3, because my copies of East 3 and 4 are Japanese, and I'm not playing those in Japanese when the character's going to be going, and I'm like, yes, have I triggered the event yet? Am I holding the right item yet? I ain't doing that. I'm crazy. Not
which random magical things do I need to do to get this to actually? Which random things do I need to do to actually get this to work like I want it to?
Yeah, how do I get this to actually trigger? I might do at some point.
Evening Pitbull.
I might have a go at it at some point because although I am aware that East 4 has had a fan translation, so you can play through East 4 and Turbo CD with a translation. But that was recently released on PC as well, remade, called Memories of Salsetta. So I'll be playing that through. As well. Actually had a little go on that on PC the other day. Fucking great. It's amazing. It's great. I love it. Fucking love it. I've skipped that one for ages. I think Bard might have played it. Either that or East Origins and spoke about it on stream. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be great. Going to be great. because I avoided it because I watched play it on a big screen.
Yeah.
For all this time. Anyway, the other game I've been playing is Dragon Quest Builders.
Oh, Dragon Quest.
Yes. I'm quite a fan of Dragon Quest. I'm sat next to a stack of Dragon Quest games. So Dragon Quest Builders it's a neat little Dragon Quest spin-off where it's got building elements, it's got traditional kind of action RPG elements, and the story basically takes place at the same time or after. It's in the same world as Dragon Quest 1. And the Dragon Lord has basically robbed the world of their ability to create. And hundreds of years have passed, and the world is in ruins because obviously no one knows how to make anything from scratch. Generations go by, people are now illiterate. You know, they can't start fires or anything by themselves.
How are children occurring?
Yeah, I don't understand that one myself. They don't know how to create, but they still know how to get down. So.
How are they eating?
Just eating things off the floor. So they just find berries. Like they'll find berries, but they don't know how to cook them into
or to grow or to grow.
Yeah, they can literally if they want like a weapon, they'll find a stick on the floor, or they'll eat things from a tree or a bush or whatever. They don't know how to read. They don't know how to write. They don't know how to cook.
It's like Great Yarmouth, really.
Yeah, basically, it is a Dragon Quest retelling of Yarko, but you get called into the world as the legendary builder, and you are the only person who can create. And so, how this basically works is you rock around as the little hero through each of the towns of the original Dragon Quest. So you start off in Cantlin. And the idea is you rebuild Cantlin. You go and find people to come back to your village. As your village grows, they give you quests. You then go out into the world, find items, build new things, discover new recipes and schematics to build new things. And eventually you have to solve all of their problems and beat the boss. Now, when I first played Dragon Quest Builders, I was a bit of a nug-nug. I didn't realise when I started the game it said Chapter 1 Cantlin. Okay? I beat the Cantlin part of the story, and this was like 20 or I think about 20 hours in. 20 hours in for this one part of the story. All of a sudden, there's a Chapter 2.
How many chapters are there?
I think there might be 5. So it's a pretty long bloody
hell,
game.
Yeah.
You don't have... So when a character gives you, like they'll say like, oh, I want a place to go and cook, or I want a place to go and make clothes or whatever, because you eventually...
I don't know how to, but I want a place to do it.
No, you inspire them. They watch you and they're like, oh, hey, maybe I could do this. Like, now we've watched you, now we know kind of what to do. So they say like, well, we need a room to sleep. Okay, so can you make a bedroom? And sometimes they'll give you a schematic, like they'll give you a blueprint that you can put on the floor, and it will say, right, you need to build it with these type of bricks, this kind of light, this kind of bed, this kind of table, whatever. Or you could just completely wing it and do it yourself. So each room has kind of like a base requirement to become a room. So walls have to be 2 blocks high. You don't have to put...
it's Minecraft.
Yeah, it has to be 2 blocks high. It doesn't really have an area requirement, but 2 blocks high, all around. Ideally, you need to have a door. You don't need windows. You need to have a light source and a chest. That's a room. And then whatever the key piece is. So
I've been in travel lodges like that.
Yeah, basically, you've got a bed. You've made a bedroom. You put a forge there. Then you've got a smithing station, and other characters can then go into that area depending on what level it is, and can create things and put them in the chest for you to use. So they might have gathered items you need to make healing potions. They can then see you make a healing potion. You might go back to that chest in a couple of days' time, like after a day or night cycle. Go back and hey, look, there's
look what I did.
Yeah, they've made some shit in a pot. And it's like, great.
Oh, I hope when you look at it, it's like it's I made a healing potion. You look at it, it's like instead of like that sort of lovely sort of red colour, it's like sort of like a browny colour.
Yeah, you're like, well,
you sort of like sniff it. Oh, it's lovely, dear. It's lovely.
in the Cantland story, there's a one of the characters, one of the first people you meet. I can't remember her name. It's like Pippa or something like that. She's sure
Pippa.
she knows how to cook. But like it's just all this like random shit like slime and grass mashed together into a pot, and then just and everyone's like, oh yeah, if we eat that we'll probably die, and they actually try it. And it's like, yeah, it's not that bad. But
in this day and age, if you put on a plate and get some hipsters,
oh, they'd love it.
They would. It'd be
They'd
that.
fucking love
Yeah,
it. That'd be great. But
call it kale and mountain algae.
That's great. It's organic.
It's organic. Yeah,
It's organic. It's organic.
only the algae suffered. And the kale, technically, because it wasn't. I'm sure kale did want to be cut.
Yeah, don't say that. You'll break their world perspective. Don't do that. You'll destroy them. But yeah, it's neat. Just kind of going around getting quests. Building up a little city, and then eventually, defending it from monsters and stuff like that. Because monsters will attack during the day, during the night. And the idea is that when you build enough rooms have a point value. And the type of room you have has a point value. And once you get past a certain value, your city will level up. Now, that doesn't really seem to do anything shy of... if you get your cities up to level 5, you unlock more items for the free play mode. So they just give you a zone that you can just build in anything you want, rather than having to follow the story or whatever. So like everything that you learn from the game, you can put into this little kingdom that you're building yourself. But when you're going through the chapters, you only get a really small, limited area, so you can't just build massive structures in that.
Oh, that's a bit
well, that's why you beat chapter 1 and then it unlocks free mode.
I was going to say, yeah. I was wondering perhaps like the next chapters 2 to 5, perhaps they give you more freedom.
Yeah, the more you unlock, so the more of the little challenges you finish as you beat the chapters, the more like extra items you get in free mode. So you might get like I had boots that allowed me to double jump and fall from great heights without taking damage. Very handy. Those then got unlocked because I beat a certain quest in Cantland Chronicles. They were then unlocked in the free play mode. I don't really know how to. I do struggle to explain some of these games, but just imagine Minecraft with Dragon Quest, or Minecraft with like Zelda. Because it's just like running around swinging your sword rather than going like attack, magic, whatever. You go in and equip your character and stuff like that. You make your armor, you make your swords, transport to different regions, save people, finish quests that they give you, build a bigger city, and then eventually it gets attacked. Good job. It's fun. It's neat. I mean, I must have put in over 40 hours now, and I'm only now on chapter 3.
Oh, bloody hell.
So, and I'm still enjoying it.
Sounds like it's roughly sort of 15, 20 hours a chapter then.
Yeah, I mean, but I am trying to go through and do, like, everything. So I am, like, looking for all the little side quests and all of the little puzzles that the game throws at you. I am trying to finish those as I go. The neat thing is, as well, that the game gives you individual save slots per chapter.
Oh, neat.
So if you play through Chapter 1 Cantland Chronicles, it'll give you like 5 save slots. Then if you move on to Chapter 2, you don't have to overwrite one of your Cantland save slots. It just gives you a whole new fresh set of save slots, which is kind of cool, because then you can just go back and unlock the extras, the bonuses. You don't have to worry about.
Which makes sense. Yeah, you don't have to worry about. If I leave this area now, I've lost everything. I haven't unlocked.
Yeah,
it avoids that sort of.
Which then means you don't have to go through for another 20 hours to try and get all the extra unlocks that you want for. Which is, I thought, was kind of neat. The characters are great. The art style's pretty good. Music is traditional Dragon Quest. It's fun. If you can get it on the cheap, I would recommend it. If you have to pay full price, it's on Nintendo Switch and PS4. Shamefully, it isn't on PC. If it was on PC, I'd have been playing it on PC, but it's a fucking fun game. It's a strangely fun game, and it's relaxing. Just dick around for a bit, build a couple of build a blacksmith's forge, build it in, kill some monsters, travel the world a bit, gather materials. It's fun. It's really fun.
Sounds cool. So, Middlemeister, what have you been... Oh.
He's not here.
I know what game he was going to talk about. Well, the game he was going to talk about initially, and then decided to change it, because he said to me, I'm going to talk about FIFA 19 to you guys and get my revenge on you two. I said, if you think you talk about FIFA 19 means we won't mock it relentlessly, that's not going to go well. So he said he decided not to talk about FIFA 19.
Good choice.
Good choice, because we would have mocked that relentlessly, and yeah.
Not
Wasn't really a good plan.
No.
I'm tempted to want to actually play one of the FIFA games because I know nothing, just to see how well I get on.
I've played very, very early FIFA games. We're talking like Sega Mega Drive FIFA games, like FIFA 95, FIFA 96, but nothing after like FIFA 96.
Yeah, I might just get like a Football Manager game just to see.
Football Manager is very different from FIFA.
Yeah,
but,
I know it's a sort of small manager. I'm just going to get one because if I can enjoy a game about managing a prison, I know enough about prisons. Maybe I can enjoy a game about managing a bunch of
hooligans,
namby-pambies who cry when they saw stub the toe.
Well, can I throw out there is a hooligan manager game, which is the
Blood Bowl.
East Side Hockey Manager.
Yeah.
So.
So I'm trying. Perhaps I'll do it for the 24-hour live.
That'd be a laugh. That would.
I'm
going
to play. I have no idea how to play this game. Let's see what happens.
Let's do this.
What team should I take? Oh no, let's see how far Lowestoft Town Football Club can get on the. Let's see. I'll put them against Manchester United and see what happens.
There you go, Premier League, and somehow they win. You're like, what? How did the Birdseye team win?
yeah. What would be funny if there'd be like, it'd be great if there's like I don't know if you actually like take control or anything when you play the games, but it'd be great if there's like, if I could find some sort of AI bug, like I could just sort of constantly relentlessly exploit to make anyone win.
Yeah. That'd be rad. That'd be rad. You could do that in the old NHL games. You could literally make a team of practically unstoppable players.
Yeah.
That was great. It's great fun. I've played the NHL games, which are like FIFA. But I think they all started to suck after like roughly 2001. So
I love how you're looking at me like that as I go, yes, I agree with you. They were bad at that point. So I used to play NHL relentlessly.
After about NHL 2001, which I believe there was probably like a FIFA 2001 or whatever. They started to get a little realistic. And in ice hockey, that's the worst. Well, for me at least, that was the worst thing in the world. Whereas the earlier games were kind of partway arcadey, partway somewhat realistic, but mostly arcadey. Whereas then they started to become like, oh look, now you can do this and that, and look at the ball control and look at the puck control and all this shit. And I was like, I'm not interested, mate. If I wanted it to be that realistic, I'd go out and fucking play hockey. I want this to be a fun game where I could just dick around and beat the shit out of people. But hey ho, whatever.
There you go. So we're not discussing FIFA 19 or Football Manager.
Good choice.
But the game you were playing, he did tell me, I can't remember it, but he said he'll talk about it next week.
Right.
So
I'll probably be playing East 3 by that point.
Yeah. You'll gradually make your way back into the 90s.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll hit the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we saw next another 5 or 6 years, you may have made it to sort of the early part of the sort of the decade.
I've heard there might be an East 9 this year. So I'm there.
Yeah. But are you going to have all the previous ones finished in time for it?
Well, I hope so. That's the plan. I am literally burning right through them. I've only stopped playing Dragon Quest so I could go back and play East.
Good man.
There you
go. Well, I've got a couple of films I've been watching. I've been on a bit of a. Tell you what, I've been on a bit of a, for some reason, space disaster film binge. A very niche market. So I started by wanting to rewatch Apollo 13, which is based on late 90s.
Yeah, old.
Based on
God, man, what are you watching all that old shit for? Yeah. You got to watch new.
You're playing bloody East.
I'm sat next to a shelf of East.
Yeah. So I want to watch that again because I thought I haven't seen that yet. Before I watched it, I watched this film called. I'm going to pronounce it wrong because it's a Russian name.
Another bloody foreign one.
Yeah, it's Russian. It's good. Salyut 7.
Right.
And it's called The Russians Apollo 13. And it's about this. So they had a space station called the Salyut 7. And at some point it lost. And it was a manned space station, but there are points where it was unmanned. And during one of the times when it was unmanned, they lost power. And they didn't know what happened. So they then sent up basically a pair of astronauts, one engineer, one sort of experienced pilot, to basically go and latch on and try and find out what was going on. So
batteries ran out.
Well, yeah, that was actually part of the problem.
They ran out of petrol.
Yeah. Well, no, there's no petrol on it. It's all solar powered.
Oh, really?
So they
I was going to say it was Russian, so I expected they'd have a generator at the back. Or whatever.
Russians put nuclear reactors into space. A lot of their spaceships used RTG, radio thermal nuclear generators, I think that's short for. And basically, it's a little small. It's not really a proper nuclear reactor. That's a bit of a exaggeration. Basically, they use the decay heat from some sort of radioactive material. As it decays, it produces heat. It uses that heat to power electronics. Yeah. So a lot of the sort of satellites and stuff on. Yeah, it's also quite dangerous, obviously, and not great. But yeah, it's not great. And and of course the Russians weren't great when it come to, so to say, looking after their nuclear material.
They've never had any nuclear issues ever.
Well,
I will not have you say.
I remember watching a documentary where they said we found one of these generators when we got a report from a bunch of hunters. They found this thing and they found it was emitting heat, for they'd sleep next to it for the night, and then they came in the next day with all radiation burns. I like the thought process. This strange object's emitting heat. Let's sleep next to it.
I have no idea what this is. It looks like it's fallen from the sky. Fuck it.
This is why I know that if an alien space, when you see like the alien spacecraft land, some human approaches it, you say, "Don't do that. Don't be stupid. Don't approach it," and they get zapped and incinerated. I now know that when people come across a strange object that's emitting heat with no apparent source, they go, "Yeah, let's sleep next to it." Yeah, I now know that's going to happen.
Who needs to set up camp? Don't worry about it. I found this strange glowing thing. All right.
So now,
never steered us wrong before.
It says it's based on a true story and that it's sort of an accurate thing. I mean, I did try and find out how accurate it was.
Yeah.
But because it's a Russian space program, there's that information isn't quite so open as the NASA ones. So trying to verify a lot of it, and there's a bit of sort of, is this what actually happened, so forth.
Do you want me to call that Vlad?
Yeah, if you could, yeah.
Cool. I'll go past Kim as well.
So I mean, things like they had to dock. The station was rotating, but it's not just rotating sort of. It's rotating like in all three axes at once. So it's not just doing that, it's also going that way and this way as well. So it's on all three axes. So imagine trying to dock with it.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so in the film they do it on the second go. They sort of dock with it.
Oh, good job.
Now, I don't know. See, this is the trouble is, I don't know how accurate that is, because they say it's accurate, but there's no way I can verify it.
Well, yeah, but they want to make out that their guys were really badass.
Yeah, well,
that would be a good way to do it.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I know it's possible, it's believable.
It's fucking hard though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but it's doable. But it's an interesting film to watch.
Mate, making a sandwich while standing on my head, using my feet to fucking spread the. That's doable, believable, not really recommended.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got a. It's definitely got a feel to it when you watch of this is plausible. Mm-hmm. This feels like plausible. I could see this happening, and they're quite good because the people that got the actors to be the actual sort of mission control. They then later on at the end they show you footage from the actual people at the end.
Oh sure. Well, what's like a historical footage?
The actual footage, from the recording from the transmission satellite and the engineer. It's like, God, they actually got people who looked really like them. They did actually need each other. I mean, the actual the flight controller or their equivalent, the mission controller, whatever you want to call them. He looks very much like the person who actually was there.
Turns out it's the same guy, just he fell asleep next to some random radioactive material.
But I mean, there are some things that are drummed up for dramaticism. So, like they talk about shooting down the satellite to sort of stop it falling to so it doesn't just burn up and crash into some city randomly.
As you do.
But as someone pointed out, the Russians didn't have the technology to blow up a satellite with rockets at that point. Mm-hmm. So. Give and take some things. There's some things that some people debated over, and their sort of involvement with NASA and so forth.
Can I just throw out there that the Russians had mad engineering skills to bang out something cheaply and quickly was just fucking nuts. Was it ideal? No.
You can't. I mean, the Russians. I mean, when they put their mind to it, they created. I mean. Mir, the first proper sort of, they did some incredible stuff. Unfortunately, when the Soviet Union sort of fell and sort of all the funding disappeared,
there goes the budget.
Yeah, that really sort of set them back.
Because didn't they say that they'd made their own space shuttle style thing?
They almost had their space shuttle off the ground.
They had one of their own, their own version of Concorde. At one point,
that never made it off the ground, and that was copied off Concorde.
No, it did. They had they had a couple of flights, but it was ridiculously loud and ridiculously expensive.
I don't think it got past testing. Is probably what more.
It went past. It did short runs over a single flight path. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like
I know
Concorde.
that. Yeah. I mean, their shuttle was actually going to be better than the NASA shuttle in many ways. I mean, they were quite. They were. I mean, I think people tend to mock Russia as like, oh yeah, a bunch of us. But they were, they got the first people into space. They got the first people orbiting the planets. They did pretty well on that. So you got to sort of get hands, and they weren't, and their expertise actually was used a lot with the ISS. They're actually used a lot with the ISS because they had obviously had a working space station for several years. So they had ideas, so that they were used a lot for their ISS expertise for that. So, the Russians are actually quite important for space exploration and so forth. So that's the first space disaster film. That's a realistic.
That's to America.
No, Americans don't like it. That was the first sort of space disaster film. I then watched a fictional one called the Europa Report.
Right.
So Europa is a moon round Jupiter. Yes, Jupiter. And basically, the story is like a found footage story, and it's told through basically it's based on this crew, and this crew decide they've got signs of like water on Europa and hotspots, signs of potential life they discover with a satellite mission.
Yeah.
So they decide to send humanity's first crew sort of past the moon to explore it. And what you're following is basically the ship of this group of people, 6 astronauts, get sent to Europa to investigate it. Now, on the way there, all communication is lost.
Yeah.
So they lose all communication, but then not shot through several months later, all of a sudden they get a data stream back from the spaceship where it transmits all the data and all the security footage and everything that's happened, all the crew logs. Everything gets transmitted back to their crew so they can actually then see what happened.
Sure.
So you're watching what the film goes on. It's sort of filmed almost a bit like a documentary. So they're interviewing like sort of the head of the mission control, obviously not the real head of mission control, and there's like footage from press conferences and so forth, and it's intermixed with this. It's you can imagine it being like sort of a Horizon documentary and so forth, and then they're showing all the crew footage and so forth, and how the crew got there. They show you what happened, why they lost communication.
Yeah,
they show you what happens to the crews on the ship, and basically what happened to all the crew.
Someone forgot to pay their phone bill.
Yeah, well, they knew the crew. They knew the crew were dead. That you know it from the start of the film. You know the crew is gone. They don't exist anymore. They're dead. That's made clear at the start of the film. This is just what happened to them.
Yeah,
and it's done. And it's. I found it was very neatly filmed. I felt the person dynamics felt quite natural.
Yeah.
And sort of the fly on the wall aspect was done really cleverly and quite neatly. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a kid. I wasn't so sure about the ending. Then it sort of let it down a little bit for me. But overall, I actually really enjoyed the film. So that's my sort of second film I can.
Netflix?
Amazon.
Amazon.
And unfortunately,
both Amazon or?
Amazon. Well, it's rented Amazon. It's
right.
Not, it's quite a new film when it came out, 2016.
Oh, okay.
It's quite. And Salyut, which is free, which is why it came out in 2017. So yeah, but yeah, it was if you like sort of, because I've been.
I think I've had a Europa Report.
Yeah, it's quite neat. It's neat. If you like found footage films,
well,
yes, it's because it's done more like a documentary. It comes across quite real.
Yeah,
and they've done it in such a way that made it. They've even filmed at the start of it. If the sort of cold, it feels like you're watching a documentary when you're watching it. They've done quite neat. You sort of forget what you're watching, and it looks. I've been heard that it's very realistic. The way they get the physics right, the way the shuttle is set up and built, and how they move around, it's very realistic.
Sure.
So that's quite neat. So I like the sort of realistic sort of space films and so forth. Strange. I've sort of got a bit of a binge on those at the moment.
Yeah.
And then I finally got around to watching Apollo 13, which is one I want to watch from the very start, which is a good film.
Fair enough. I don't remember much of anything about
Apollo 13 is the one that's based on the. So they were going to the moon.
Yeah,
it was the 13th mission to the moon. Has Apollo 13, or moon-related mission. It was going to do a moonwalk as well. They're actually going to land and moonwalk. Then on the way there was an explosion on their ship, and basically they ended up venting a load of their oxygen, which is not a good thing when you're on a spaceship.
No.
And they also basically lost and the oxygen was also used for the fuel cells, which meant they had no power. So basically, they had to, and also they had to basically drift back on orbit. They couldn't fire they couldn't really not fire any rockets or retros or anything. Drift back on orbit back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually orbited the moon. So they actually got to see the moon. And you think to yourself, if you thought you weren't coming back, if there's a good chance you thought this ain't going to work, we're not going to survive, would you not be tempted to go, let's just land on the moon and be done with it?
Yes, let's go.
We're not going to survive this. Let's land on the moon. Let's walk out and go, yeah, we made it. We're dead here. NASA, you're going to have to come retrieve our bodies. Good luck. Yeah. But NASA, I've got the keys to the moon rocket. You're going to have to come back for me now. But yeah, because it's not explained straight away what happened. It's quite well known what happened. Basically, it was a design fault in the oxygen tank. They designed it when it was initially designed. It was designed for 28 volts. Mm-hmm. At some point, NASA decided that the control module would be 66 volts, and no one told the people who made the thermostat.
Oops.
Which is what then controls to make sure it doesn't overheat and explode.
Just
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. So they accidentally So yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. It's a good example of how just one simple communication error basically nearly killed 3 people.
Well, did they say that wasn't there a recent launch where there was some kind of rocket to do some kind of thing? I don't know if they were trying to launch a satellite or some kind of test.
Using numerous satellites now.
But there was a thing that was literally designed to be mounted one way.
Yeah, I think it was me I was telling you about this.
Yeah, and someone flipped it.
Yeah, but it was designed to be mounted one way. Apparently even had an arrow on it. Mm. Now, admittedly, I will fair. If you have an arrow on it and it doesn't say this way up or this way down, you don't really know what the arrow means, do you? Hmm. But the way it was meant to go on, it fitted perfectly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd imagine.
The way it goes on wrong, someone had to hammer it on.
Usually, if you have to get a hammer to something to get it to fit, you got a bit of a problem.
You have to say to yourself, this isn't like a British Leyland car here. This is a highly engineered bit of equipment. I don't think I need a hammer to fix this.
This door panel don't fit. Dun, 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 dun. Time for a break. Fuck that, mate.
Yeah. You got to think to yourself, maybe when you're sitting there with a hammer going clang, 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 it's not going on. Why did they design it this way? Perhaps you got to think maybe the really expensive rocket. Perhaps I'm doing this wrong.
Yeah. I would say if you're working on something like that, don't give the staff a hammer. Yeah. Just don't. You shouldn't have millions and millions in equipment just sat there. And more, and then someone gives you a dollar store hammer.
I think if I had an engineering company that was assembling shuttles, I wouldn't have hammers. Nope. I just wouldn't let staff have them. Because that just encourages them. Because let's be honest, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. Hey, look, screw.
Yeah, I do know someone who did hammer some screws in at work once.
Nuts and bolts. Don't.
Yeah. Let's just thread them all. It's fine.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wire this in. How am I gonna do that with a hammer?
Yeah, well, the old song, if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer all over this world. Because you had a hammer.
That's it?
Yeah. Because that's the thing about space. Space is so hard. Mm-hmm. It is like sort of hardcore mode. Because if anything, I have to admit, you must be pretty brave to sit on something and think to yourself, I hope John in Section 2B remembered to put the gyroscope in the right way up. Because otherwise, we're dead.
Brave. Clinically insane.
I think there has to be a helping point if to be an astronaut. You have to be quite insane today, so to be flew at several thousand miles an hour, and then basically falling towards Earth but missing. See
now don't. You got to be careful how you say this kind of thing, because there are people that they don't believe that space is real.
Oh, I've not watched it, but apparently that Behind the Curve documentary is brilliant.
I think me and Inky might have seen that, Mike. If that's the one I think it is.
Every experiment they tried to prove the Earth is flat proves it's round. Have you seen the latest thing? They're now trying to raise money for crews to go to the Antarctic to go to the edge of the world.
I have heard of that.
Yeah. And I just like to hope. I thought, isn't that going to be great? Because what's their excuse going to be when they finally come back?
Mate, if they are going to fund this, look, guys, right? I don't mind being proved wrong, okay? And I don't believe the world is flat, by the way. But what I'm saying, I don't mind being proved wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I will take that mission, and I will film it for you. I will podcast the
live stream it. We'll live stream as we go over the edge.
Yeah, we will live stream our deaths if
Oh no, yeah,
you're right.
We could do it, couldn't we? We could just sit there and we're going, oh, here we go. What we're going edge. Everybody ready? Everybody ready?
Mate,
Ah!
nah, mate. I was like, oh wait, tricked you. Mate, just I'll turn out
the edge is a roller coaster.
No, mate, Earth is actually like the Discworld. It's just got a fence.
Yeah. Well, you'll get you get there. It's like a little goblin saying, "No, you can't come over here."
Yes,
do you? Where's your passport?
So, oh crap! I left it in my other trousers.
Do you have a visa?
Well, no, I am.
You can't come in then. You get caught at the edge of the Earth immigration control.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the real thing.
Gonna have to turn around and go back on that.
Yeah.
We can't take a picture from the other side.
Yeah. No. So can we just take a picture? No.
Can one of you guys go over there?
It's round like a pancake. Yeah. Have you seen? There's somebody who's been pitching because someone posted a picture on Facebook of them in a plane with a level, and the level was showing level. See, proof the Earth isn't flat. It's like, yeah, and then someone posted a picture of a tennis ball with a level balanced on it, showing the tennis ball says, "See, this proves the tennis ball is flat." There's someone doing a ping pong ball. There was a snooker ball. There was a football. All prove that all these various round things are flat.
Well, there you go. How can you argue with that?
No,
how can you argue with that?
How can you argue with random logic?
Yeah,
I like the guy who wanted to get funding to build a rocket to fly 100 feet in the air to prove that it was flat.
Oh, didn't he?
He ran. You don't think he made it?
Didn't he say he was building something and he? I don't know.
To be honest, if I would love to build a rocket and hire people to build a rocket. If I could convince a load of idiots to give me their money to do it, that's not a bad shout. Oh yeah, I'm going to prove the Earth is flat, but you all need to give me your money and I'll get it designed and built. I'm thinking, I'm going to go to space, yay! And I'll get it all built and I'll go up there and I can say, well, you're going with me. Turns out it is round.
And they were like, oh.
Yeah,
and then they deny absolutely everything you say.
And then I'll be part of the problem. At that point, I've been got to, yeah.
Yep.
I always say, see, the government. I always, whenever I speak to, I know a guy's been into the conspiracy theories. Although I managed to convince him, he was convinced that chemtrails are real. And so basically, he said to me, he said, "Oh, the planes in the chemtrails." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, they're there." I said, "What are they doing?" "Or they're making a seal to reduce population." I said, "Panny, each year we're living longer and longer. They're not doing a very good job."
I was going to say they're doing a pretty shit job.
Yeah, exactly. And then eventually it's all dawned and go, yeah, that's actually quite a stupid thing to think. So he stopped thinking. I actually converted him, so he didn't think about it anymore.
He didn't think it anymore.
Yeah,
you cured him.
Yeah, I cured him.
He was addicted to thinking.
I cured him of stupidity. I don't think that's possible.
No, that is not possible.
Well, I did.
Don't be silly.
Yeah,
they'll find some other form of stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, if I could convince people to sort of, but I always think my argument is always is look, if the government can't keep MP expenses under wraps, something they don't want anyone to find out about, how on earth have they managed to keep these massive conspiracies under wraps? Because how many people would need to be involved to sign off on that?
Well, the trick is though, because as soon as you start saying conspiracy, everyone thinks crazy person. So then half the people don't believe it anyway.
Yeah.
Then just people start bickering amongst one another. It's kind of like, racism. It's silly.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be real, but for some reason it is.
Yeah.
Bless humanity. You're all thick. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm thick too, but some things I see people do.
Individually, most humans are quite smart. Unfortunately, when you get groups them together, it all goes downhill.
I mean, everything sounds so plausible.
It's definitely. I think the trouble is, there's intelligence is definitely an average. So as you get more people together, the average results are going to drop.
And you're like, oh,
yeah.
Who let them in?
Who let the humans in? You.
It's like right there. That's like the aliens just come right past. Like, no, don't want anything to do with that.
I think that's why we haven't been visited. They come down, they look at it and go, we don't want to visit these retards. We don't want to speak to this bunch of idiots.
You ever wondered why they always report that they've gone to like bumfuck Missouri or whatever it is? Like, where the fuck?
Yeah. Well, what should we do? What should we do this evening, Plod? I know, job. Let's go find that random bumnuck down there who no one will believe and shove this up his bottom.
Just for a laugh.
Just practical
jokers.
I think they're all teenagers.
Yeah.
They're all teenagers going on their jollies. They've nicked their, teenagers around here steal traffic cones. Alien teenagers, anally
Dutch humans. They probe
random people, leave them behind. No one's going to believe them. They know no one's going to believe them because they've been told if you're going to, it's like cow tipping. If you're going to do it, don't let anyone see them. If you're going to abduct a human, don't somebody who people will believe. Find the random person who lives in a trailer in America. Find them, the one who sort of drinks heavily. Find them, probe them, leave them behind. Make sure you cover them in alcohol first, so when they get back to the wife and go, "I've been abducted by aliens," she thinks, "No, you're just a drunkard again," and it's fine.
They check the bottle, and the part where they marked the bottle is dropped.
Yeah, they poured a bit out. Yeah.
It's like, dude, fuck,
Yeah.
you drunk fuck. That one, aliens.
Yeah. I think it's just a bunch. It's just a bunch of teenagers on their spring break.
Yep.
Aliens. That's all that comes to Earth. None of the sense about aliens wants anything to do with us. There's a whole space society out there that no one wants us to know about.
Can I throw out there, right? As I hate to say it, a paid up member of humanity, of the human race, I don't even want to. Yeah, I had to.
Oh.
I had to.
I got the voucher.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the discount voucher.
So you didn't get yours off the back of a cereal packet?
No. I got the free one. I was issued that.
Oh, motherfucker! See how that
I won it in a crisp packet.
God damn!
You're
really lucky, mate.
I was. Yeah, it was a rare one.
See, that cost me a small fortune, mate. Because otherwise they weren't going to let me in. They thought I was
quid?
No, that's a bit too much for me.
Yeah.
Look, mate, I can't even afford razor blades. They thought I was a fucking caveman.
What do you mean you're not?
Well, I might be.
When
your
name is Skazz. That is semi-caveman like.
People also confused me for Jesus at one point as well. Look, I've been around for a long time. Okay, look. I'm trying. All right, and they didn't believe me when I said that I was just a regular ass, average Joe human being from Lowestoft. They looked on the map, they couldn't find it, so I had to pay. And now I'm entitled to an opinion, apparently.
Yeah.
But as a paid up member of the human race, I've got my documents and everything, like Nobby Knobs from Discworld. I can prove that I'm human, right? I don't even like being part of this group. You all suck.
Yeah.
If I had a choice, I wouldn't visit us either.
Yeah. Yeah. We're sort of like, what's a country that no one really likes?
England, America, France, Spain.
What we say?
Germany.
We're the American of the space world, are we?
Yeah.
That's a bit cruel to America. It's not quite that bad. Think of some. Imagine. Yeah, it's better. They know. There's a whole federation. That's like, just don't talk to the humans.
Just leave them
look.
be.
Oh look, bless them. They've launched someone else to the moon. Oh,
they're gonna ruin everything.
Do you know they've not even done it with hyperdrive yet? Oh, bless
them.
Bless them. We had that before we had cars.
Look how advanced they are.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, you wait to. Yeah, have you heard what we're going to do? Yeah, that Pioneer satellite's leaving the solar system soon. You wait till what we're going to get to send back last thing. A selfie. Can you imagine that? NASA's very last series, they get getting the last image from Pioneer. It's just an alien going, hey. Picture of like sort of a pioneer in the background looking in a mirror. Can you imagine how freaked out they'd be?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. It turns out we're not alone and not all a bunch of dicks.
Yep. They've been laughing at us the entire time.
Yeah.
Bless them.
Yeah.
We love them too. We do.
Yes.
We'll never see them though. We're not smart enough.
Well, that's the thing. See, the aliens don't know we know what on them because obviously this doesn't get transmitted through radio waves. It gets just transmitted by the internet. So this will never get broadcast into space. So they'll never know the joys of round nerds.
I know. I do feel sorry for them at this point.
Unless, of course, they would like to subscribe to the podcast, which they can do through iTunes.
So what we need to do is we need to go to bumfuck Missouri and say, look, just go find the random
with
drunk.
Some business cards.
Yeah, and just say, look, if you get probed, hand this out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's our URL.
Yeah.
Here's our Patreon.
You're gonna get bum probed anyway. Just stick a few up there when they go searching.
I actually looked at our Patreon to see if there's actually Patreon does it because I was going to do that. Patreon.
Oh, he's checking the Patreon. There's some random alien.
Oh, I would love that. Having some random alien to give us some money.
What I'll say: Donald Trump, Kim, Vlad,
yeah,
Margaret Thatcher.
I'm just going to create. What do you mean? Oh, I spelled Patreon wrong.
Well, there you go. And this is why aliens don't visit.
Well, I can't smell Patreon.
Yeah. That because I'm full of shit.
Let's see.
You still can't spell Patreon correctly?
Apparently not. How do you spell Patreon?
P-A-T.
P-A-T.
I've now gone and forgot. R-E-O-N.
R-E-O-N, not E-R-O-N. Whoops.
I don't know. I can't even tell what to spell.
You're probably more... I'm not... Hey, here we go. Right now, it's now loading. Am I over 18? Yes, I'm over 18.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. 0 patrons. There we go.
Good job.
That was worth the wait, wasn't it? So
this is why production is so low.
Yeah. Right. So I've got nothing else.
Nope, me either.
No. So if you, thank you for watching us. If you're from outer space, how have you got hold of this?
Yeah.
And if you are from outer space, can you please give us some more support on Patreon?
Ideally, could you do it before we're dead? I understand that getting things
please.
from here to you takes
a while. To be honest, if I get to go into space and have a look round like Mars and something, I will accept the anal probing. I don't mind for that person.
Are you saying that Lowestoft is basically bumfuck Missouri? Just like random place where you get.
That's I feel that's more like sort of like Cornwall. In you.
Wow. Well, that's really.
There's no one Cornish in your group, is there? Who watch us? Is there?
No.
Oh, that's all right then. It's fine. Of course, they won't have the internet, will they? So. So anyway,
well, I do keep saying to people that Lowestoft is still stuck in the 80s. We've literally only just hit the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, we've got televisions now and mad hair and
exciting things ahead.
We're still horribly racist and sexist and
we are better.
Well, you know, we've only just realised that stuff is happening and.
Thanks, Pitbull.
We've now got 486s, 386s. We've got some kind of computer.
We've got something 86.
Yeah, we've got
computers.
We still got them. What are they, 5 1/4?
Yes.
Yeah, we've still got 5 1/4. You know, we're putting things on tape.
We've still got those really old hard drives that are like the size of like a small car.
Yeah, the ones. Look at that, man.
Where you can actually see each platter. It's not just like some thin disk you can't really make out.
I've got a whole megabyte storage, mate.
Yeah.
A fucking megabyte. Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's sad, isn't it? So, well, until 2 weeks.
And then people give
got exciting 2 weeks ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, streaming. You know what I'm doing Tuesday?
Is it?
I'm castrating cattle Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Watch out, you might get aliens might come down.
I'll tell you something.
My friend, I
did get a bit worried about it because my friend woke me up. He said, "What are you doing Tuesday?" I said, "I'm off." Actually, he said, "Oh, that's great because I was hoping you'd be available because we're castrating the cattle." I said, "Why is it require me to be there when you're castrating the cattle?" He said, "Well, I thought I'd get you done at the same time." I said, "Oh, right, thank you for that." Yeah, he goes, "Yeah." He said, "No, I just need to hold them." So we started discussing. He said, "So what do they actually do?" He said, "Well," I said, "Do they sort of like knock him out?" But he goes, "Oh no, it's local anaesthetic." And we sort of like go around it, and they start kind of scrotum. At this point, my own balls were treated, I think, to the Antarctic. They sort of disappeared. Basically, they definitely came back inside at this point.
But yeah, what you're saying is that your manliness receded so far you had a vagina.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, as we discussed the process of castrating the cattle, and I said, you're gonna have to stop now because I really don't want to know anymore. And he goes, "No, to be honest, mine have disappeared as well at this point." Yeah, so yeah, I'm castrating cattle Tuesday.
Good job.
I've got 7 to do.
Good luck. If you come back,
the vet's doing it. We've just got to hold the cows still.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Because, what was it, 2 weeks ago you got bit by a pig?
I did get bit by a pig. Now, I'm very disappointed by that. Did I develop any superpowers? No.
I was going to say, did you turn into a werepig?
It was a full moon last Thursday? No.
I
was looking forward to that. I thought, well, at least
sad.
if I got something out of it, I could be a werepig.
I'm sad.
I'm not sure I'll do as a werepig, just pig around, I suppose, and snout things and... I don't know, look for truffles or something. I don't know. What do rare pigs do? But no, I was very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Oh, maybe next time, mate. Maybe next time.
Oh, we got a new person.
Maybe if people... Good job, Van. Yes. Disappeared years ago. Good times.
Yeah.
I'm not real.
No, you're not.
This entire thing isn't real.
Anyway, thank you for watching. So, obviously, where can you find us? roundnerds.com. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/roundnerds. Twitch, you're watching it now, twitch.tv/roundnerds.
/.roundnerds.
/.roundnerds, sudo, roundnerds, TV, Twitch, stream, lovely. Enter.
And then, so, like, you do know you're going to have some random fucking, like, Linux or Unix guru come up and say, that isn't a thing.
No, really?
You are so fucking wrong, mate. And they wouldn't
you
say
fucking
that.
suck. You don't know Linux. Oh, you can't get the command line prompt just right. Yes, piss off.
Hell, mate. I'm supposed to be the aggressive one here, not you.
Yeah, well, they won't be that pedantic. Yeah, you know, we've got Patreon, patreon.com/roundnerds. We have got Google Plus, but that's nearly gone. That'll be gone by the next time we broadcast.
Yep.
You got Twitch, Twitter. We've got a Twitter.
Have we?
Nerds. Yeah.
Someone put anything on it?
Oh no, just the
okay.
the web I never actually looked at it. The website just automatically posts to Twitter for us.
Just so you know, I'm a figment of my own imagination.
That's recursion. I don't like it. Recursion is north. Yeah, no, recursion's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like recursion. But yeah, that's everything. I'm hoping to have an email set up again soon. We did have an email at one point, but I sort of need to reset it up.
Oh, right. I got a bit confused. I was like, what do you mean having an email again? Everyone has an email.
Yeah, we've got an email, but I don't want to give it out because it's I want a more professional looking account. But to do it, I need to get the hosting to change over our primary domain from roundnerds.a2hosted.co.com to roundnerds.com.
Yeah, I was curious as to when that was going to happen.
Well,
I remember you talking on one of the previous podcasts.
The trouble is, see, when they do that, that's going to muck up all the URLs. So I'm going to have to go through and adjust like all the URLs for the podcast. Are going to get mucked up. So I'm going to have to go through and readjust them all.
Could you
and all
not
sorts. It's not as bad as it sounds. I'm making it sound worse than it actually is. I need like a day to do it. To go through and do it all. But I'm very sure I'm going to have more time on my hands to be able to do that sort of thing. So
you're going to be a professional life, just like me.
Yeah, I am.
Good job.
Yeah. So, thank you much for watching. Up in the TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz.
Middlemeister will return.
Maybe.
Possibly. Sometime.
To talk about FIFA.
And we will mock him mercilessly.
Yep. Send him to Bumfuck, Missouri.
Yep. Yep. So, send to Bumfuck, Missouri and find an alien that won't believe you.
What do you mean you've been playing FIFA?
Plus, one day, that's what we'll do. If we'll come across an alien, we'll abduct him, we'll do loads of stuff to him, we'll make sure this alien that none of them will believe.
Just make sure we find a drunk alien.
Oh, God, I got that. And the humans abducted me. Yeah, of course they did, Ron. Ron the alien. Yeah, of course he did, Ron. Yeah. Oh, you won't believe they made me play Xbox 360. Oh, of course they do. That's what they always do, Ron. Yeah.
Bloody console plebs.
Oh, of course, Ron. Yeah. Oh, they showed me the inside of a small house. Oh, yeah, Ron, of course they did. Yeah.
We all know that they still live in mud huts, Ron.
Yeah, we know they're not that advanced.
Good job.
Yeah. Goodbye. Bye, everybody.